Hi everybody, this is JD again. Beer's coming out nice, I think. What do you guys think? Tell me. Okay, what am I going to tell you? What am I going to talk about today? Talk about some things that I have seen and watched in the news, and listened and heard all your candidates talk. I guess I ought to join the bandwagon. The front runners right now is Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Two of the worst candidates our nation has ever seen, probably, in the history of our nation. That is my opinion, and it's a very strong opinion. Why? Well, listen to Donald Trump, and you really cannot figure out what he really stands for. 1 minute, he wants to get rid of all the Mexicans, Latinos, and then he says he loves Latinos. Even some of the illegal aliens work for him. He's sure of it. And then we have some problems with terrorists, and he's on the bandwagon now to lock out all Muslims. Shut down their mosques. Totally disregard the Constitution of the United States, because that's what the crowd wants to hear. He gets on a show, talks about where taxes are too high, wages are too high, other things are too high. How do we expect to compete with the world economy? Well, the truth of the matter is, there's your problem, Trump. You want to deal with the world when all the problems we have are within the United States. He says he'll handle ISIL. There is no political solution to ISIL. I don't care what any of you say. You might think there is. Yeah, you could get them to say, okay, we're going to stop fighting and stuff, but they're never going to stop terrorism. There is no political solution to terrorism. Terrorism only stops when the terrorist price they pay is too high for their terrorist act. That's the only time terrorism stops. There is no political solution. If you don't believe me, just look at the history of terrorism. It started with a couple planes being hijacked, and now you're blowing up cities, you're destroying the world. See? Terrorism has no political solution, because a terrorist is not politically motivated. He's ideologically motivated, and therefore you have to hit the ideological side of him, not the political. And then let's look at Hillary Clinton. She says we have to deal with ISIL and Sadat at the same time, because Sadat in Syria has killed so many people. I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised the world court has not brought Hillary Clinton up on charges. What? You say? Yeah. Just look back. Let's see, how many people have Hillary Clinton killed, made become refugees, destroyed their towns, destroyed their nation, destroyed everything around them? How many? First, her vote. Her vote for Iraq, to invade Iraq. She voted to invade Iraq with the rest of Congress. Why? Don't ask me. I haven't figured that one out yet. So they could remove Saddam Hussein, which was the only stable figure in the whole Middle East? Honestly, that started the whole ball rolling. How many people were killed? Innocent children, women, men. Oh, that is collateral damage. She is partly responsible for that. And that's where it all started. And how about Gaddafi? A month earlier, he was in the country, United States, visiting with the president. A month later, they're removing him. The wars, the people, the immigrants that left. Children being killed, women being killed, families being destroyed, towns being destroyed. Another stable country that's now totally unstable. Never mind our own ambassadors because they didn't provide the protection needed. She was directly involved with that. And then after the new spring in Egypt and the government that was settling down for what the people wanted, who was in the middle of messing all that up? Because they, the United States, wanted a different government, different group that they could work better with. Oh, Hillary Clinton, more people dying, more people being killed. She has involved now in Iraq, she's involved in Libya, she's involved in Egypt. That's not good enough. Now let's go after Sadat in Syria. Because he doesn't agree with the United States. He's not one of our good allies. He does kill some of his people. And how many have since Hillary Clinton got involved in regime change has died? She's responsible for that. So why isn't Hillary Clinton standing before the world court to answer for all these deaths? And the ultimate of what she has done is the immigration from Iraq and Syria into Europe. Hillary Clinton's regime change, handiwork. Sadat gone, going after, the leader of Iraq gone, Saddam Hussein, and now they're going after Sadat. Can they ever learn? No. These type of people will continue. And she wants to be president? She has no respect for any nation. No respect for any government. She would change the whole world into whatever she wants it to be, and the heck with the people. If you don't believe me, look and see. The ultimate is that father holding his dead son. Hillary Clinton, you did that. Because they left because of the wars, which you helped start. Why Hillary Clinton is not standing trial before the World Court? Why the UN does not bring up charges against her? I do not know. She is more involved in the upheaval and destruction in the Middle East than any other person I know. You could take Obama with his stuff. You take Bush. They had to be combined, but Hillary Clinton was in all of it. It's time the World Court start holding some of these quote-unquote governmental figureheads of other countries responsible for the death and destruction in the Middle East, especially people like Hillary Clinton. And you people want to make her president? That's when she stands up there and says regime change, he has killed 100,000. How many millions have she killed? How many multi-millions have she displaced through her efforts to topple governments that were sort of stable? Maybe not perfect governments, but it's not up to Hillary Clinton, Obama, or people like our Congress to decide how a government shall be in a country. It's up only to the people. I have to agree with Sadat. I'm sorry. It's only up to the Syrians who should be president, not the rest of the world. They need to get their hands out, back away, let the rebels work with the government, solve the problems, and bring the children of Syria home. That's what needs to be done. Now, ISIL, there's only one thing they understand, and I promise you this: I shall bring the finger of God down upon them. I will handle ISIL. I don't play games. I don't need to play games. Immigration. The problems with immigration. The real problems with immigration, when I talk to the people, it's not the immigration. It is that they don't pay taxes, they're burdened on the system, etc., etc., etc. Some people want them because they hire them. Some people don't want them because of the tax situation, the burden on Medicaid, the burden on welfare, the burden on all these burdens. Well, that's where we need to fix the problems. Do you know now with Obamacare that approximately 40%, and I'm just kind of guesstimating because of your salary is in taxes now, or programs of the government? Approximately 40% now. Now, when you fill out your income tax and you get your thing, it says you paid 13% or 17%. No, that's the percentage you paid on your income tax alone. They don't talk about your Social Security that you pay. They don't talk about the Medicaid that you pay. They don't talk about the other programs that you pay for. They don't talk about the medical insurance that you've got to get. They don't talk about none of those things. They only talk about the section that was only taxed on your income. That's not the major taxes that you pay. They don't talk about the sales taxes. They don't talk about other taxes that you pay. All they talk about is your income. Nothing else. Then you may say, oh, I only paid 13%. Well, maybe you paid 13% of your income tax, but you paid 100% of all those other taxes. So yes, you are being taxed. You're being taxed in ways you have no idea. And you don't understand. So yes, our tax system needs to be adjusted. It needs to be fixed. Our tax system should not be based on your ability to work, but actually your ability to spend. Social Security is an insurance program, even though they call it a tax. Once we get your income tax out of your payroll, Social Security is an insurance program. Medicaid, Medicare, that should go into the tax programs. So where should their money for that come from? Like I said, your ability to spend. Your ability to go out and buy. So in other words, all our taxes should be based on sales tax. And nothing else. Because the prosperity of a nation is the nation's ability to spend, not its ability to work. Once its ability to spend is high and maintained, you have a prosperous nation. When the ability to spend is low and weak, you have a very poor nation. What about, let's see, we talked foreign affairs, we talked taxation, we talked immigration. How about you? You yourself. Where do I stand on you? I don't give a dog on who you are. I don't care the complexion you have. I don't care if you're beige like me or as dark as brown that there could be. We're all brown. I don't care the shape of your eyes. I don't care of the native language you speak. What I do care is that if you're an American citizen, from the day you're born to the day you die, it must be protected. There are privileges guaranteed you. Privileges. Now, you've heard people talk about rights and stuff. I'm holding up the Constitution here. And when you read the preamble, you're reading your privileges. That is the reason for the government. Yes, the Constitution of the United States. And what about your rights? It starts off with the first 10 amendments. And those rights must be maintained. And the restriction of our government and its function is in between the two. Between your privileges and your rights is the restriction and the function of our government. Our government is to function to the level of providing those privileges to you and ensuring those rights are maintained. Yeah, you I'm talking about. I got to protect each and every one of you. I got to make sure that your constitutional rights and privileges and that our government follows the procedures and the Constitution as it is written. Not the way they like it to be, but as it is written. And not removing what they don't like and keeping what they like. So, people, those of you who are my age, you know most of our life is going by. Those of you who are younger, who are the children of people my age, you still have some time left in this country. But your children, they're the future. I talked about education. When I got videos about education, I got videos about separation of church and state. Separation of church and state, plain and simple. This is the way it should be, shall be, and will be, even though it is not in the Constitution. There was a rabbi. Some call him rabbi, some call him prophet, some call him son of God. He was in the temple. They tried to trick him. He said, give me a coin. He held up the coin, said, whose face is on the coin? They said, Caesar's. He said, then render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and render unto God what is God. And I add, never shall the twain mix. That's the way it has to be. It must be. You want to see the corruption of when religion and government mixes? ISIL. Right there. That is a politically governed religious organization that is definitely evil. You might say that the politics, which is evil, overtakes the good, which is religion. So, in the United States, religion must be separate. But don't expect me to go around telling people to take down their nativity scenes or to remove this or remove that. As long as we light the Christmas tree at the White House, notice the Christmas tree, we can't say take it down. Because the Christmas tree represents all that Christmas is about. So, people, you have the right to believe what you believe. And that will be defended. No matter what religion you are, you do not have the right to infringe on another's right. That's where your liberties end. And your rights and privileges. When you start infringing on another rights, liberties, and privileges, you have reached the end of yours. You may not like it, but that's the way it is. That's the way our society is set up. That's the way the Constitution is set up. It doesn't tell you the limit. It doesn't say it anyway. It says everyone has these privileges, these rights, and these liberties. Everyone. And no one has the right to infringe on that. So what does that mean? Does that mean a photographer can sit in front of a driveway of somebody's house to get pictures of them when they're leaving, blocking the way for them to drive to a store or restaurant? No, he cannot. Because he's infringing on the liberties, privileges, and rights of the person coming out of that driveway to go shopping. He cannot do that. See? That's how it works. A famous person pulls up to a restaurant. Does that photographer have the right to stand there and block their way to get into that restaurant? No, he does not. Freedom of the press only guarantees that he can stand back and do freely, but when he infringes on those rights, liberties, and privileges of that other person trying to get into that restaurant, he has overbound the rights of freedom of the press. You see? That's how it works. So, people, who do you want for president? Someone who's more concerned about the world market and will change what he says to suit the crowd he's in front of? Or someone who has proven herself to be the most destructive power force in the world, has been responsible for more deaths, more killings, more immigration, more wars than even, I dare say, Adolf Hitler. So, what are you looking at? Why are you not writing your state telling them you want JD on the ballot? And why aren't you supporting me? I'm not asking you to send me money. You want me to speak anywhere in the country. I will gladly. Get me a plane ticket. Get me a place to stay. Fly me there. Fly me home. I'll speak. I'm not going to charge you to speak either. I'm just going to say, pay for me to speak. You all have a nice day. This is JD. You're going to have to start waking up, people, and deciding what you want for this nation. And right now, both political parties, you look at the whole line, there's nothing there worthy of being president of the United States of America. You got some business tycoons, you got some political cheaters. I call them political cheaters because they're in office right now, but they're not there. They're out running for president. So they're collecting their paycheck and not doing their job. I guess that's the only job you can have that will pay you for doing nothing for that job. And then you have everybody else. And then every once in a while you get someone like me, a statesman, as they call us, who's more concerned about the people and the state of the nation than anything else. I'm not interested in profit. I'm not interested in money. That's the least of my worries. Money is the one thing I do not want a lot of. So people, you decide. I'm noted for not lying. I'm noted for keeping my word. And when I say promise, I'm noted for that will be done. And when I'm going to lie to you, I'm going to tell you up front. Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies. After the second time I repeat that, the third time you ask me that question, it will be a bold-faced lie. So people, you have a nice day. You start thinking, what is it you want for this country? Not what I want. Because all I'm bringing is leadership, which is guidance, direction, and responsibility, and your word. And we shall get our Congress to realize that they are the servants of the people. Not the world. They don't run the world. But they are to serve the people of the United States of America, only the people of the United States, and that the people of the United States of America are the masters of our government. And Congress shall serve the people. The people shall not serve Congress and leadership. So your word, Congress to serve you, and leadership. That's what I'm offering. Everything else together, you and I can fix. Thank you for your time. This is JD. Have a nice day.